Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 7:03. Please join me for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone on this evening before Thanksgiving Eve, I guess we are. Okay. So we'll get started with our old business, which is October action items. Before we do that, I will just say that Ruth Marie Swisher is going to be serving as our voting alternate for tonight. Thank you, Ruth Marie. And let's see, for our action items, the first one from October was that I would reach out to Deb Hoadley to schedule a meeting with the trustees, which I did, which had to be canceled. And I have not heard back from her. I felt due to the circumstances of canceling that I would give it a little time. So I will reach out to her after the Thanksgiving holidays and see what we can reschedule. Yvette was going to reach out to finance and find out what the next steps are for creating an RFP for the roof project. Any information on that? Okay. Janet and I will address the general ledger concerns with Joanne to send to the town finance director, which Janet did, and then also received. Janet, do you want to speak to that? Oh, she received an update. It had been corrected, so that got taken care of. I was going to work on scheduling a meeting for the trustees to work on the budget, which we did. We had that meeting. Yvette and I went before town council last Thursday, which was great. It was really wonderful to tell them about all the good things going on at the library. And I think when you're, just coming to our monthly meetings and reading Yvette's reports, you don't realize how much is done over the course of a year. So even for those of us who hear a lot about the library, it was really wonderful, Yvette, to hear all the things sort of in one grand, I don't know, presentation. So thank you. I lost my train of thought there, but no, it was great. Let's see. Janet will send the treasurer's report to the board. I will send a thank you to the friends, which I did. And Deb and Yvette will work on the Quimby Trust Fund recognition. You might have seen that Yvette put something in the newsletter about that. So thank you, Yvette, for doing that. And I think that looks like that was it. So, okay. Was there anything I missed or were there minutes? Okay, great. SMP is on here as a placeholder. Just as a reminder, that's the architectural firm we are working with. And when Yvette and I went before town council, one of the things that we did say was that we are still interested in pursuing that. We did the site study. We just have been focusing all of our energies on the current building and doing that sort of thing. So we did let the town council know that this is still something that we are actively interested in pursuing. We're just taking care of the things we have to take care of in the building and the strategic plan. But they're aware that that's still something for us. Speaking of the strategic plan, are there any updates or anything you'd like to share, Yvette?
No.
Okay. So the community focus groups are done.
Sure. The community focus groups are done. We're waiting to hear back from Deb Hoadley about the survey. So this would be probably an email survey. And then we've also been talking to her about helping Kathy craft a separate survey-like thing for the students, for the high school students. It may not be a survey, but we definitely want to capture that kind of target audience.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I do have one. I asked Robbie if
Sure.
he had any notes or anything. He said the retreat on the 13th, he has a conflict. So I don't know if on December 13th.
That's 12.
Oh, 12. I might have the date wrong.
Yeah, that's the next thing with the strategic planning committee, but I don't actually thinking of it now. I don't know if that's going to get pushed off because she hasn't met with the board yet.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I think that was the final sum up.
Combination of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I reach out to Deb to see about rescheduling, I will ask her if that's still the date for the retreat. Okay. Thank you, Jen.
Sure.
Anything else on the strategic plan? Okay. The building maintenance project list. Oh, building maintenance. There's so many things. So, look at that. Did anyone have any questions or comments about that? Okay.
I guess mine would only be, now that we're building committee, is there anything you need from us, Yvette? Thing you, building wise, that help you with, or
I don't think so, but I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
You know, thank you.
Have you heard back from the retro commissioning agent? Have
No.
they scheduled a time? Okay. But you did let them know that we are going to move forward with that. So.
Yes, they're just going to put it together as a proposal and send it to me to sign because I signed it. I signed the quote, but
Mhm.
just waiting for that next step.
Okay. Right, thank you. Okay. So the next thing is the energy audit, which again is sort of a placeholder and goes with our HVAC and retro commissioning, but I don't think there's been any updates to the energy audit either. Okay. Is there any other old business that needs to be discussed? Moving right along. New business, budget, general ledger. This is the current budget. Invoice manifest and open POs. So we said the general ledger had been corrected, so that was good. So what you're seeing before you should be accurate. Any questions or comments for Yvette on current
I
budget?
just noted that postage is down quite a bit, so I don't know if we need to, at some point, make up some money for that, if that's kind of the trend. Since we're almost halfway through the year, started out as 500 and it's 123.
I'll ask.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else? Okay. The draft budget we worked on, we are going to discuss the bulk of this in non-public because really the main thing we need to determine is salaries and wages, and so people's names may be mentioned. So, and some other things. So we are going to be moving that to part of our non-public discussion. We'll say that Yvette received the spreadsheet from the town, and the date that we have to submit it is now December 1st. Originally, the date that it would have needed to be submitted was tomorrow. So we have a little bit of time before that needs to go in, although hopefully we will resolve everything tonight. So, okay, policy review. I'm going to turn that over to you, Yvette, so you can take us through the policies you need us to review.
Okay. I sent you separately a copy of the updated 3D printing policy. I don't know if you have any questions about it.
I thought it looked good. I didn't have any.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. Would someone like to make a motion to accept the policy?
I'll make a motion to approve with the edits.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Great. 500. Thank you.
Okay, I also sent you a couple of edits for the CERC policy. I sent you page 5 and page 10, and then there's another related document. Basically, the second one is removing the Teddy Library because it was absorbed by New England College, so it's not a separate GMELC's venue anymore, and it's it was absorbed by New England College, and now it actually doesn't exist anymore at all. So that was something that we needed to correct. And then for page 5 and page 10, which I'm sorry I didn't grab that, but there were some edits that Alyssa wanted.
Says
is at the discretion of the head of circulation, so it's about charges being waived for lost items and
Yes, thank you.
yeah.
Lost item, the whole process with lost items and recouping money for lost items is complicated because we never know if we're going to get an item back. You know, the patron is billed, we send a letter, and they have so many days to respond. You get a second letter and so on. But in the meantime, we want to replace the item, especially if it's a new book or a new item or something like that. So we've gone back and forth in department heads about what's the most practical timeline, you know, so that we're not replacing something too early, but we're not waiting so long because it could be many, many weeks. And then inevitably, you know, we replace the item and it comes back. So then it's, well, what do we do with this item that has now come back? Do we need two? Usually no. You know, so there's been a lot of discussion about this, and Alyssa believes, you know, of course, leaving it to her discretion is best. And we're trying to also be coordinated with GMELCs with the other libraries because notices go out the same, you know, the same timeline. So this is
Okay,
her
makes
recommendation.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Any other questions or comments about the policy changes? Okay. Well, I will make a motion that we accept the changes to the circulation policy. Okay. All those in favor? Okay, 500. Thank you. And then the notice and billing schedule, is that,
That's just the correction with Teddy, removing Teddy Library.
no, there's the notice and billing schedule for 2024 also. So there's
Oh,
page
I'm
5
sorry.
and 10, and then there's this one also, which is basically just changing this to go with the policy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and the one on our website is 22. So
Does it need to have a date there? Because I was just thinking, if you put 2024, that means you have to update, it. Can you just leave a date
No,
off? So
we can leave it off.
just in case you don't get to
Mm-hmm.
updating it.
Okay.
So we'll remove 2024. Okay. Well, I will make a motion that we approve the notice and billing schedule.
Second.
Any other suggestions, questions? Okay, all those in favor? Great, 500. Thank you. Those were all the policies, right?
Mhm.
Okay. The next thing is staff holiday gifts. Janet, would you like to speak to staff holiday gifts? We'll give
Okay.
someone else a chance to.
For several years, we've given staff gifts for the holiday, with all their work that they do and an appreciation. Last year it was $50, and I think we should do the same. So it would be $50 for each employee. So I'll make a motion to purchase a $50 gift card for each employee.
Okay, any other questions or suggestions?
Looks great.
Okay, great. All those in favor? Okay, 500. Great.
Do you want some help with that?
And when you get them, usually they give them to me, and I write a Christmas or a holiday note to each person on the staff, and then include the cards in there. So they'll just so you know kind of what happens. So.
The Amazon ones,
I usually,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
okay.
Yep, and if you just want to collect them, and you do a great job putting them with the sheet, so I know who gets what. And then I double check 50 times before I seal the envelopes, like, right? Okay, great, thank you. It's great to just know what we're doing, because it is right around the corner, so perfect, thank you.
When would we like these?
I think that if you do it in the next week or two, that's fine. You can do it before you venture forth. Janet has an adventure planned. If you want to do it before that, or if you do it when you get back, that's still plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. Grants.
Just really no updates. I know that Yvette and I are going to schedule a time to sit down and discuss it, because there's some like databases we could subscribe to that will give us access to finding more grants. So, and I know you had mentioned something about Milford Library had some grants to cover some things, so I'm not sure if it makes sense to reach out to them to get more information on
Yeah,
how they did that.
I looked back just a little bit in their minutes, and I think that it had something involving the Friends. So I know, Janet, you know somebody on the Milford board too, so maybe it wouldn't hurt to just have a conversation and see how they did that. So
Okay.
great. Thanks, Jen, for keeping an eye on that for us. All right, director's report, Yvette.
Okay. On November 6th, we received another cake.
Well, I was like, didn't I just read
know,
about
I
a
did too.
cake?
I was
And I'm
like,
like,
I
Yvette
pulled
must
up
have
the other
knew
one. I was
that.
like,
No, we received another cake from Crosby's Bakery from resident Mary Johnson for the staff, and of course I accepted this on the staff on behalf of the board, and it was delicious. Would you like to vote to
Sure,
accept
I will
it?
vote to accept the generous donation of a cake from Crosby's Bakery.
where is that?
In
Down,
Nashua.
downtown Nashua.
Okay.
It's like, yeah,
Now that you
Okay.
say that, I have heard of that.
yeah. And people love their cakes. Like, yeah. So, okay.
So good.
So,
Do you need a second?
yes, please.
Okay, second.
Okay. Any further discussion or conversation about Crosby's cake? Okay. All those in favor? 500. Thank you very much to Mary Johnson.
We love all bakeries. It's not like
Okay,
we
okay.
only love but we're very thankful. She's very kind to us. We also received a check in the amount of $25 from the Reed's Ferry Women's Club to be used for the Library of Things. They've been communicating with Jen Stover about some other items, and it might be something like with manipulatives, but they really liked the puzzles, and we have a sorting block puzzle as well. So, but that's $25, and I would love to have you vote to accept this.
I will make a motion that we vote to accept the check in the amount of $25 from the Reed's Ferry Women's Club for the Library of Things.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Great, thank you. Okay. We received an anonymous, oh, sorry, your turn, Yvette. I'm going on. We received an anonymous donation of
We
3
received
puzzles.
an anonymous donation of several puzzles. I have pictures of the puzzles if you're curious. Flowers in an Italian village by the sea, and a very colorful, looks like a scene from India. And they're all 1,000 pieces. We'd like to add these to the Library of Things.
Sure, I'll make a motion that we accept the anonymous donation of 3 puzzles. Okay, thanks. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? 500. Great. Thank you, Yvette. And thank you to all of the people who are generously donating to the library.
Yes. As you know by now, the elevator refurbishment project was delayed to sometime in the middle of December. I don't have any more information on that. Waiting to hear from the retro commissioning agent. I'm waiting for this to be converted into a contract. I have been in communication with Scott Livernoy. He wasn't able to come in and Zoom with this meeting today, so we're going to set up a December date. I can target your meeting since everyone will be here, unless there's a different date you want to try, or unless he's really not available. But
I think it's good to just target this date because we already all have it on our calendar and the December gets busy. So
Yeah.
if he's available for this one, why not? Let's
Yeah.
do it that way.
yeah, the plumber is working. He's going to come in the next couple of weeks to fix the I don't know, pump or something in the staff room. This was a leak, so it was kind of connected to the air conditioning unit in there, and so we had to run a separate piece of electricity there. Now that's finished, so the plumber can come in and finish that work. The carpet was that project was done today. The crew came in and pulled up all the tiles around the tiled area, the sloped area, and kind of regraded it. And staff, we were on site. Some people decided to work from home. But, you know, I was watching it and taking pictures throughout the day. And, you know, it looks great. It looks really, really good. And I don't think anyone, I certainly can't tell where the slope was. You know, I know where it was, but it looks much more even. And hopefully it'll be resolved. And that's the end of it. Let's see. The GMOX board is, I'm looking under administration, the GMOX board is going to be talking about Square, moving from Comprise to Square, and we're going to have a presentation from a couple of the libraries that already use Square. One of them is the Hooksett Library, so that's going to be at our December meeting, and I'll bring back information for you. Kind of everything I seem to have highlighted in my report, unless there's something that you have a question about.
Question on, as the sewer was blocked again on November 9th, and I saw that on one of the other lists too, there was a sewer issues. So this is something that's ongoing, something we can, is there anything we can do to fix it? Or
No.
it's just something
No,
in the
no,
building that
no,
we can't?
no.
Yeah.
No, this has been ongoing since I've been in the building. So we've had different people come to look at it, and we purchased a snake, like a high-powered snake that Jared knows how to work, just to kind of cut back on the amount of times that we call a plumber to unblock it. Usually it's a couple of times, you know, like twice a year. This was a little, unanticipated, but no, it's pipes that are much bigger structural issue than
Yeah.
I don't think it can be fixed.
I had one other question. So you had a note about possibly changing the domain to a .gov, and I'm sure you'll bring us more information, but my question was, would that require a change to our website address?
That's what I have to find out. You know, I think what we've talked about in department heads, and I need to get more information from our current vendor and the town to see what actually changes, because I don't have enough information. I think the question is, you know, one of the questions is the current vendor going to still be in business after this contract is up and they are saying, oh, I can renew it for 9 years? And it's like, well, I don't know why that's a concern for some of the staff, but that's one thing. And I think if they're a company that has other clients, they would have a plan for what to do if they, you know, it's a small company, but they would have a plan about having someone else manage the business. I think the other thing is I don't want to change the website address, you know, though that's really more complicated than I think I certainly want to get into right now. So I need to go talk to, you know, I've had other people have been delegated to go talk to vendors, so I just need to get on the phone with someone now, because that was my question, because the cost is the same, you know. So
And then I had a note here. Oh, I just wanted to kind of give kudos to the children's room staff for all of the outreach that they did around Halloween. Saw them at the town Halloween party, and then they did the trunk or treat, and they were at several other events too. So they worked hard around Halloween.
okay.
Okay. Anything else for Yvette?
Just one comment, really. I saw the list of the 2024 legislation titles.
Mm-hmm.
And just remind me, is that you get updates from GMILKs?
No,
Oh, sorry. I couldn't remember how you get.
the New Hampshire Library Association is our
Oh.
professional organization in the state.
Okay.
It's not the state library. It's adjacent kind of to the, not really. It's kind of adjacent to the state library, but We have a legislative and advocacy committee, and that board, the NHLA board, of which I am a member, has hired and retained a lobbyist for years who watches the legislation for us.
Yes. I just couldn't remember the path, but I know I had said it before, but thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of overlap because GMLC's librarians tend to be involved in everything. So, they're one of the people on the legislative committee is in GMLC's. So I hear these updates twice,
Couple
maybe
different
3
ways.
times. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
which is fine for me.
Which is okay. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, next, treasurer's report.
Okay, I am looking at the balance sheet for the month. Here we go. For the end of October, and the balance for fines, we started with $7,548.63. And we ended with $7,487.13. And then special, we started the month with $57,253.06. And we ended the month with $58,659.54.
Any questions for Janet about the treasurer's report? Hmm? Okay, thank you, Janet.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to acceptance of minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes. Let's start with the October 17th public meeting minutes. Are there any changes, comments, or questions? No? Very quiet group tonight. Okay, so, all right. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll motion to approve the October 17th public minutes.
Perfect. I will second that. Any further discussion? Okay, let's see. I'm just checking. Okay, all those in favor?
I'm voting.
Okay. Oh, you're voting.
I'm
Yeah,
voting.
all those in favor. Okay, great. Thank you. 500. I was just looking to see if Ruth Marie was at this one. I was just like, no, you were excused, right? So, and yep, so it would just be, so it's actually 4-0, and then you would abstain, so 4-0-1. So, I'm sorry, I should do that officially. All those in favor, 4, opposed, and abstaining. Perfect. Okay, now we're legit. Okay, thank you. Okay, having this alternate thing too, it's a whole new world for us. So thank you. Okay, October 17th, non-public meeting minutes. Any questions, comments? Okay, let's see. And Ruth Marie, you were also obviously not at this one. So all those in favor? So 4, opposed, and abstaining. Great, thank you. 4-0-1. And the November 7th meeting that we had to go over the budget. Any questions, comments, corrections? Okay, so would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the November 7th minutes.
Great. Okay, I'll second that. So all those in favor? Great, 5-0-0. Thank you, Jen. Okay, committee updates. Nothing for the Building Exploratory Committee. Friends of the Merrimack Public Library. Jen, do you have any information from them?
Okay, so at their last meeting, they discussed the wreath auction, which is underway and ends November 30th. So if anybody would have an interest, the wreaths are hanging in the lower level, correct, Yvette? And you can go on to the Facebook page and place, your order or whatever on there. So, let's see. They will financially support NaNoWriMo Open Mic Night by donating mugs. And then they're reviewing the New Hampshire Humanities Lecture Series to schedule events to select an event to sponsor.
Wonderful.
And then they will be meeting next Monday.
Great. Thank you. Okay. And the Merrimack Public Library Development Fund Committee did meet, and it's just our quarterly meeting to look at their financial reports. The one thing they had a question about was the bricks. And Yvette, you looked at all the bricks and did an
Yes,
update
and I
on-
emailed the committee letting them know the 5 bricks that they had asked about originally. The photographs are on the website now, and then Nelson wanted to follow up about his family bricks, and those pictures are also on the website.
and they will be meeting again in February. So. And then the Town Center Committee.
Yeah, the Town Center Committee met shortly after our October meeting. And on November 3rd, I believe it was, they had a ceremony to officially open the work that is going to be done to complete the Sauhegan River trails that have been worked on and pieced together for a long, long, long time. And now it has all officially been funded. And so there was a ceremony, like a ribbon cutting. And that's going to happen. And now we're getting into the road construction that you've seen on the Everett Turnpike, and there are things that are going to be done on our main road, and bridge replacements and various other things. And a wire road's going to get reconfigured somehow, and those things are being worked on. Nothing really directly with the library that I know of. And so there's a lot of small things that are starting to finally come together, because I think 24 and 25 and 26 are going to be big for road construction and maybe some configuration and so on. And might have to do with this local area, especially with town hall and the library and the police station. So we'll see. I'm not sure.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, people are really excited about the trail. That's it'd be great. So thanks. Okay. The LBOT committee updates. Personnel committee has not met. Finance committee has not met. Building committee. Have you met? No? Okay. Building committee has not met. So for November action items, there really aren't too many things on our agenda. We'll obviously be probably generating some as we look at our budget in the non-public. But for right now, before we go into non-public, I think that the one thing is that I'm going to reach out to Deb Hoadley to reschedule the strategic planning meeting, and I will ask her about the December 12th retreat date. Yvette and Janet will coordinate to get the staff gift cards to get to me, and I will grab some holiday notes for the staff. So,
Do you still want us to reach out to Milford for the grants?
oh, and
I
you'll
have
reach
that.
out to Milford for the grants. Yep, yep, as we discussed. To just gather some more information. Yep. Okay. Is there any other business to be dealt with in public? Okay, then I'm going to let everybody know that the Friends of the Merrimack Public Library will be meeting on November 27th at 7 p.m. And as I mentioned, the Merrimack Public Library Development Fund Committee will be meeting on February 12th, 2024 at 5 p.m. in the Lowell Room. And when is our next official meeting? December. The library trustees will meet on December 9th. That sounds right. The 20th is Wednesday. So our next meeting will official regular monthly meeting will be December 19th at 7 p.m.
Where is the Friends meeting?
The Friends meeting is at the library. Okay. Well, then I am going to make a motion that we go into non-public session per New Hampshire RSA 91A32C, and we'll take a roll call vote for that. So
Do you need a second?
I do, you're right.
I will second.
Thank you. Molly,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
Jen, Ruth Marie, and I say yes. So we will go into non-public at 7:40.